Shalom, Israel. Today's teaching is going to be called Dark, subtitle Why You Still Playing in It. So sometimes we need to be reminded of things as we've seen in the scriptures. Today we're going to see and be reminded of what's in the dark and what the dark is. Of course, we're reading out of the Sovereign King James Bible with the Apocrypha and the PaleoHebrew Spiritual Dictionary to see the word functions in the scriptures. So first we're going to start with Psalms 78 and 2. I will open my mouth in a parable, I will utter dark sayings of old. So he's going to speak to us with these lessons and comparisons and these dark sayings, these deep teachings, these spiritual mysteries, these revelations that we need to understand and figure out what he's saying. And how do we do that? Isaiah 28, 9 and 10. Whom shall he teach knowledge, and whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast. For precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little and there a little. So a precept is an instruction, a statute, and an ordinance. So if you have a question on a specific topic, you're going to keep on going to his instructions in the Old Testament, the New Testament, and the Apocrypha. No outside resources. Why do we do this? Why is it instructed this way? Psalms 119:4 and 104. Thou hast commanded us to keep thy precepts diligently. Verse 104. Through thy precepts I get understanding, therefore I hate every false way. So it's a commandment. A commandment is an order or is instructed by who? Yehovah. So it's not a suggestion. He's saying this is the way you get the truth and the understanding. Every other way is false. So if you get a man out there or a woman out there who's telling you to go to another book to get understanding about this book, off the jump, you should know it's a false way and they're lying. And you got to keep these precepts because it's commanded and you have to keep them diligently, precept upon precept, line upon line. So it all comes down to the choice. Are you going to follow man or are you going to follow Yehovah? One or the other. One can save you, one cannot. One is eternal, one is temporal. You make that decision on your own. Isaiah 34:16. Seek ye out of the book of the Spirit of God and read. No one of these shall fail. None shall want her mate. For my mouth it hath commanded, and his spirit it has gathered them. So Yehovah, through his servants, gathered these books for you to read and get understanding of what it is that we need to do to get back to the kingdom, to the Father who is on his throne, who sent Yehovah his word down here to give us instructions and guide us back. Second Peter 1:20 and 21. Knowing is first that no prophecy of the scripture is of any private interpretation, for the prophecy came not in old time by the will of man, but holy men of God spake as they were moved by the Holy Ghost, which is the separated body. So here is the word in the book of life by the Spirit of Yehovah giving us instructions. There's no private interpretation as long as you're using precept upon precept and letting Yehovah guide you to the understanding through his instructions. You let a man guide you, you will get a different interpretation. Therefore, that's how we get these religions, these camps, and these other people teaching false ways in other false books with other false understandings. Ecclesiastes 12 and 12. And further by these, my son, be admonished of making many books. There is no end, and much study is a weariness of the flesh. So be admonished, be warned, instructed of making many books. So we have people making other books as we see. They're making books and saying, no, this book is going to help you understand what God is saying to you. Even though he told you precept upon precept, they're going to tell you no. Why? Because they want your money, and that way that they're giving and suggesting is a false way. Because you will be no closer to understanding, because they themselves do not understand. So let's get into this. Sirach 23, 18, 19. A man that breaketh wedlock, man, M-A-N, male or female. We're going to get to that. A man that breaketh wedlock, saying thus in his heart, who seeth me? That's a question mark. I am compassed about with darkness. The walls cover me, and nobody seeth me. What need I to fear? The Most High will not remember my sins. Such a man only feareth the eyes, the understanding of men, and knoweth not the eyes, the understanding of the Creator, are 10,000 times brighter than the sun, beholding all the ways of men, and considering the most secret parts. So we're going to get these definitions first, and then we're going to get understanding. Man, M-A-N, in Scripture, can be referred to or referring to a mortal, Adam, son of man, creature, flesh, person, or brother. So it can be a male or a female, because Adam, we know, is male and female. Let's just double check. Male and female created, Genesis 5 and 2. Male and female created he them, for thought he blessed them, and called their name Adam in the day when they were created. Okay, so Adam is male and female. Now wedlock, let's see what wedlock is. Wedlock, covenant or marriage. So a male or female that breaketh the covenant or the marriage that Yehovah has with his people, saith thus in his heart, who seeth me? Okay? Nothing that we do is unseen by Yehovah. It's recorded. Remember, we are flesh, we are in darkness. We need Yehovah, who is spirit, the truth, and the life, and our light and guide to the Father who sits on his throne. We need to keep the agreement. If we do not, we are committing adultery, and the works of the flesh are with us, and darkness is upon us. We need to stop playing in the dark now. So just that thought in our mind, in our heart, to believe that the Creator who created us doesn't see everything that we do is already foolishness. That is an evil imagination. Those thoughts are in darkness, and those are dark. So let's get the definition of dark before we move, so we can understand how everything is flowing. Dark, ignorant, sinful, spiritually blinded. Now let's get darkness. There it goes. Spiritual ignorance, sinfulness, spiritual blindness, no understanding. So that statement there, who seeth me, that's ignorance. That's spiritually blinded. That's sinfulness. Because Yehovah created us. Why would he not see everything that we're doing? Because don't we get judged on the things that we do? Okay, so we just getting established that he sees everything that we're doing. Ezekiel 8:1. And it came to pass in the 6th year, in the 6th month, in the 5th day of the month, as I sat in my house, and the elders of Judah sat before me, that the hand of the Creator, Spirit of God, fell there upon me. Ezekiel 8:3. And he put forth the form of a hand, and took me by a lock of my head, And the Spirit lifted me up between the earth and the heaven, and brought me in the visions of God, our guide, to Jerusalem, that's to the people, to the door of the inner gate that looketh toward the north, where was the seat of the image of jealousy, which provoketh to jealousy. So let's see what provoke means. So we did something, again, as usual, because we're Israel, right? Provoke, incite, stir up, or anger. So the Spirit lifted him up. So the anger, Yehovah is angered at us for something that we done and we're doing now. And we were warned about it before. Let's see what those things are. So provoke, incite, stir up, anger. We were warned about this before in Exodus 23, 20, 21. Remember, I sent up messenger before thee to keep thee in the way and to bring thee into a place which I have prepared. Beware of him and obey his voice. Provoke him not, for he will not pardon your transgressions, for my name is in him. He even said it before this. So we needed to follow the instructions of Yehovah so he can guide us back to the right way, on the right path. But did we listen? No. Instead, we provoked him to anger by doing things that he said not to do. That seems to be our thing that we're known for. Disobedience. Ezekiel 8 and 6. He said furthermore unto me, Son of man, seest thou what they do, even the great abominations that the house of Israel, Jehovah's servants, committeth here, that I should go far off from my sanctuary. But turn ye yet again, and thou shalt see greater abominations. So an abomination is something that's unclean, he hates, he's detestable, it's wickedness, evil, and lewdness. He's going far off from his sanctuary. We're supposed to be the sanctuary. So when we doing these things, these unclean things, he's not going to be with us. He's going to be against us. Because he can't behold iniquity. So we need to be being wholly separated and doing the things that he's instructing us to do, that we can be pure. Then he can dwell in us. So let's see. Matter of fact, we don't need that one. So let's see this dark, this spiritual ignorance. Let's put it back up. Let's see what happens when we try to go back and play in the dark. We should know already what the dark is, because he took us out of darkness. But some of us think that we could have 1 foot in, 1 foot out, not knowing that that whole leg would get cut off. So that dark, that ignorant, sinful, spiritually blinded. Then you want to dwell in that darkness, the spiritual ignorance, sinfulness, spiritual blindness, and no understanding. So these are the things that you're going to find here. Let's find out what some of these events. Genesis 4, 8, A and C. And Cain talked with Abel his brother, and it came to pass when they were in the field. So Cain is the acquisition. His brother is his fellow, his equal, a neighbor. And the field is the vineyard, the land, the world. Right? Let's see what happened here. Exodus 2:12, A and B. And he looked this way and that way, and we saw that there was no man, male or female. Who? Cain. Let's see what he's going to do. What he's looking around for in the dark. Genesis 4:8D. That Cain rose up against Abel his brother and slew him. Slew, murder, kill, slain, slay, wrath, destroy. Why he did that? And then he looked this way and that way to make sure that he was in the clear of man, of flesh. He didn't want people to see him doing it. Totally forgot about Yehovah. Totally disregarded the instructions of Yehovah. Didn't care what the Creator said. He was caught up in himself, wrapped up in his flesh. That's in the dark. He tried to commit that sin in the dark, make sure no one was around. No one the wiser. It could be light outside, right? It could be the sun could be out, but he still could be in darkness. Because he thought just because no one was there in the flesh, that he was good to go. Right? Exodus 20 and 13, thou shalt not kill. So when you go back and play in the dark, and you want to be in the darkness, thinking that you're not seen, you seen. Because in the dark, there's killers there. You just seen one. Leviticus 19:17, thou shalt not hate thy brother in thy heart. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him. So when you go in the dark, and you trying to put a foot in, foot out, and you think that you, because you got some knowledge that now you're covered, and you want to go and enjoy that nightlife, and go to those places that you used to be going, with those same people you used to go in there with, you're going to find some hate in there. You're going to find out that they hate you very quickly. It's going to be in their heart. So the moment that you find out, you might be dead. Because why? They're killers. And they hate you. Hateful killers is in the dark. Let's see what else. Leviticus 19:18, thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people, but thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. I am the Spirit of God. So you're going to see in the dark, there's going to be a lot of people who have a grudge against you, especially now that you got some knowledge. They're going to be wondering why you there, why you glowing. Because you're really out of place. You ain't even supposed to be there, but the killers is watching you with hate, and they have a grudge against you. You thinking you good. They ready to kill you. But still, you want to play in the dark. You forgot what was in the dark. He took us out of the dark. Why are you trying to go back in the dark? To be covered in darkness as if he don't see you. Let's keep moving forward. It's just for everyone to do a self-evaluation and think about it, because Yehovah sees everything. He's not playing a game. We could come into these chats and Zoom and the Sabbath and act like everything's good and amen, but he sees you in the dark. Just because the elders and deacons and brothers is not around when you're doing it, Yehovah is always around. And he knows what you're doing. Amos 3:10, for they know not to do right, saith the Spirit of God, who store up violence and robbery in their places. So those holding grudges, it's angry, all in their feelings, all in their flesh, they can't do right because they all consumed in the adversary. They're all in the flesh. They can't be walking in the spirit, so nothing good's going to come out of thinking and moving in the flesh. It just doesn't make any sense. So violence and robbery is in their palaces. So it's wickedness, that's in the dark. Evil, that's in the dark. Terror, that's in the dark. Grave, for when they kill you, that's in the dark. Corruption, that's what they do. All this stuff is in the dark. Remember? Because some of us used to do it. Robbery, right? Stealing, yeah, that's in the dark. Let's move forward. Let's stop acting like we don't know what's in the dark. We know what's in there. Genesis 49:5b. Instruments of cruelty are in their habitations. Cruel. Fierceness. That's in the dark. Unmerciful. That's in the dark. And they keep it all inside, right in their heart. You can't see it, but it's there. It's right in their habitations. It's right in their heart, in their mind. They thinking it. As soon as no one's there, they're going to look to the left and to the right. They're going to kill you and rob you. Because you want to play in the dark. Don't forget, he took us out the dark and cleaned us up. Gave us knowledge, gave us the light, told us to walk in light. But some of us think that we still could go and play in the dark and we're going to be covered. Okay. I don't know why we think that. That's that evil imagination. Because it's not true. Genesis 49:6 F and G. For in their anger they slew a man, and in their self-will they dig down a wall. In their anger, they was all in their flesh, in that wickedness and that evil, that terror, unmerciful. And when they was doing it, they didn't even care who was around, because they knew that when they was putting that work in, they didn't expect anyone to be alive. They didn't care who was there. We'll kill anyone who has something to say. We'll kill them too. That's in the dark. Those thoughts, those people with those thoughts, those spirits. Genesis 4:6 and 7. And the Spirit of God said unto Cain, why art thou wroth, and why is thy countenance fallen? If thou doest well, thou shalt not be accepted? And if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door, and unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him. So the Most High Yehovah sees it coming. He sees you boiling up in your flesh. He sees what's in your heart. He went down and talked to you. Hey, don't listen. You need to get up out that flesh, walk in the spirit. Don't do that, because if you keep thinking that way, you're going to be in darkness, brother. And I'm going to have to, I got to go. I can't dwell in that. So get your act together. Just do what I tell you. Follow the instructions and you'll be good. Don't worry about it. But no, self-will. Everybody, we got will. We can do what we want. Okay. We keep forgetting that he's the creator and we the created. Self-will, rebellion, stubbornness, disobedience, arrogancy, and pride. That's in the dark. So you got rebellious people, stubborn people, disobedient people to the laws of Yehovah, arrogant people, and prideful people. So you got to recognize when you go back into the dark, all these spirits and all these people with these spirits is waiting for you there. It might look nice. They might be dressed up in a nice suit and a nice dress, a nice outfit, but inwardly they're ready to slay you. Unmercifully. Because they bear a grudge against you and they hate you and they kill us. Spiritually blinded. They're not worried about the things of the spirit. They're worried about things of the flesh. They worry about things of the flesh. Genesis 49:7 A and D. Cursed be their anger, for it was fierce, and their wrath, for it was cruel. Let's get cruel and fierce. Let's get these. It was burning. It was terrible, ferocious, ruthless, formidable, rage. That's in the dark. What you going over there for? What you really going to go do over there? What you want to go back to that for? What's there for you? You want to give over the instructions of the Most High to go back to that? To die? So you want to give up life to go die? For death? Cruel. Let's go to cruel. Don't let your sins weigh you down. Get those evil thoughts out your head. Don't dwell on them too much, because that make you start moving in them, and that's not good. Because once you find yourself in that darkness, you know you have a problem. We've seen cruel already. Fierceness, fierce, unmerciful. They're not going to have no mercy when they do what they do, according to the flesh. Proverbs 27:4. Wrath is cruel and anger is outrageous, but who is able to stand before envy? So now we see wrath is in the dark, cruelness is in the dark, anger, and now we see envy. So this is saying envy is worse than all. Who could stand before envy? Envy. Let's put it on a Bible. There's envious people in the dark, waiting, bearing grudges against you, ready to kill you, because they killers. Unmerciful killers. Kill you, then go back to wherever they at and go drink on it, and then forget about you in 10 minutes. Not caring nothing about Yehovah. Why do you think they're going to care about you in the dark? Envy, covetousness, emulation, bitterness, jealousy, strife. So you're going to have jealous people in there. You're going to have bitter people in the dark. You're going to have covetous people in there. So you have to ask yourself, what are you really doing there? You really out of place. That bitterness is, that bitterness, especially in relationships, and you have relationships with people and they bitter. They can't talk to you. Not that you did nothing or whatever. It's just that it's in their heart and their habitation, that bitterness. When they see it, they just want to kill you. That's there in the dark. You want to go back to old people. Why? Oh, they family. They ready to kill you. They don't care about this family word, family, brother, sister, mother. That means nothing in this battle. We at war. You need to stand on the side of light, not on the side of darkness, because we know what's in darkness. We carry our sword of light and kill people in the darkness, those spirits. We're not going there hanging out with them and playing with them. This is not a game. So what you dressing up, going in there playing around with them for? You miss it? Okay. I never known someone to miss death. Like, we seen it around us. I don't want it. If you want it, you take it. James 4:5. Do you think that the scripture saith in vain, the spirit that dwelleth in us lusteth to envy? So now you got lust in the dark. Let's see what this lust is. One second. All right, we back. Sorry about that. James 4:5. Do you think that the scripture saith in vain, the spirit that dwelleth in us lusteth to envy? So now, let's get the definition of lust. Because this is also going to be in the dark. These spirits, these people with these spirits, it's going to be waiting for those who think they can play around in the dark. You got greed. You got fornication. Put it a little bigger. Hold on. Just in case you can't see. You got whoredom. And you got concupiscence. So this is going to be in the dark waiting, that greed. You know, everything goes hand in hand when you're in the dark. So if I'm greedy and you got something I want, I might have to kill you to get it. Unmercifully, of course, and I don't really care how you feel about your life, but because I want to fulfill the lust of my flesh. I want that greed is telling me I got to do what I got to do to get what I want. So that's how that works in the dark, right? Fornication. I'm going to say what I need to say to get the girl to fornicate with me, or the guy to, or for a female guy to fornicate with me, or whatever that's going on in the dark. You're going to do whatever you need to do. You need to lie, you're going to do it. You need to spend some money, you're going to do it, right? Because that's you going after the flesh. We chilling in the dark, right? Whoredom, same thing. Even when you're doing it spiritually. You in that dark. You in that, oh, I'm going to go here and study at KJBU, then I'm still going to go to that building once a month because they invited me. Nah, you got to pick one. That's that dark. Why you playing it in the dark over there? You know the truth is over here and the darkness is over there. Why are you going back to the dark? You want to show them what you got, what you learned? Nah, they don't care about that. The Most High see you. We don't have to see you, but he see you. And that's still no good. Numbers 32:14c. Ye are risen up in your father's stead. Let's get the definition of stead. Place, position, behalf, instead. So our same disobedient fathers who were in the dark, who were murmuring, who were doing all these things against the Most High, blaspheming, complaining, never satisfied, even though the Most High is showing them and doing all his wondrous works, which he always does, bearing us on eagle's wings and giving us everything that we desire, and even things that we don't, he give it to us. But guess what our fathers did? Still not obeyed the voice of Yehovah. So why are we still doing this? Why are we still playing in the dark? Why are we still tempting Yehovah? Why are we still making him angry? Why are we still want to be covered with that veil of darkness? Why? Why are we still not following the commandments? Why are we not choosing a side? Loveth thou death, Israel? Do we love death that much? We want to play with it? We need that excitement in our life or something? Answer that for yourself. Stop playing in the dark. Get out of there. 2 Chronicles 37:8a. And be not like your fathers and like your brethren which trespass against the Spirit of God our guide of their fathers, who therefore gave them up to desolation, as ye see. Now be ye not stiff-necked as your fathers were. Go back, read Numbers 14, the whole chapter. Go find out about that. Find out about all that stuff that Yehovah was doing, and they still was talking crazy to him like he's not the creator. Like he owed him something. He owed us something. We still over there blind and spiritually ignorant of things, and still not appreciative of what the Most High is doing for us and what he has done for us. We still want more. We can never be satisfied. He say, don't play in the dark. We go right to the dark. Remember when he did this, Genesis 12:1-2. Now the Spirit of God has said unto Abraham, get thee out of thy country and from thy kindred and from thy father's house unto a land that I will show thee, and I will make of thee a great nation. I will bless thee. I will make thy way great, and thou shalt be a blessing. Nah, we're going to go play in the dark. We're going to go back to our father's house, back to the idols, back to the abominations, back to the dark. We don't care about your warnings. We seen what you did, but it was alright. Judith 5:6. This people are descended of the Chaldeans. Who are these? So these Chaldeans, they're going to be in the dark. Who is these? Let's see who these. Because you said these are our fathers. So this is our fathers. Who are they? So this gives us time to find out, be reminded of who our fathers were and what they was doing, so we could turn and do the right thing. For those who serve Yehovah. The Chaldeans, so we're going to deal with, they are the adversary. Adversary to who? Yehovah. Covenant breakers. What covenant they broke? The one that Yehovah made with us? Truth breakers. That means they don't keep no promises and they don't tell the truth. They don't care about Yehovah, the Spirit who created them. And they sure don't care about you. They are unmerciful, lustful, greedy, killers, bitter. We've seen all of it already. This is all in the dark. Why you want to go play in the dark? Let's keep moving. Let's keep moving. Isaiah 1:4, A through E. A sinful nation, a people laden with iniquity, a seed of evildoers, children that are corrupters. They have forsaken the Spirit of God. So, we got sinful people in the dark, evildoers. That means they're going to do it. They're not just going to talk about it. Corrupters, and they forsake the Spirit of God. They could care less. Whatever he say, they doing the opposite. Remember, they're covenant breakers. They're the adversary. They're all about flesh. All about it. Everything they do is in flesh. Every understanding they have is about flesh. Let's see about this flesh. Galatians 6:8a. For he that soweth to his flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption. Let's get this reap so that we want everyone to have a full understanding of what's going on. Especially in this dark that people want to dibble and dabble in. I don't know why, but okay. Reap, harvest into judgment, reward, blessing, teaching. So this is a reward for what you doing. You know how that song say, you do dirt, you get dirt? That's the reward for your labor, what you're doing. So if you're doing things of the flesh, that's going to be your reward. And we all know the flesh is a dead thing. So your reward is death. Let's continue. Second address, 741A through C. Even so now, seeing corruption is grown up and wickedness increase. We already know that wickedness and corruption is inside the dark. They do real dark things there. We know that. Come on. We used to be the ones doing some of them. Or some of them used to be done to us. Right? Leviticus 22:25 B and C, because their corruption is in them and blemishes be in them. Let's see what these blemishes is. Matter of fact, first let's see what this corruption is. It said it's in them. It's in their minds, in their hearts, it's in their flesh. That's all the flesh is. Spelled it wrong. Corruption right there. Corruption, sinfulness, decay of life. You keep hanging in the dark day by day, your life is decaying until there's nothing left and you die. Let's see what these blemishes are. Blemish. There go a blemish. You see the blemish. Condition, spot. So when you go play in that dark, you're going to have people with conditions and spots on them of wickedness and corruption. Why? Because they're truth breakers. They're covenant breakers. We seen it. We can't offer nothing with a blemish in it. They think that they can, and they're going to try to teach you to do so as well. You know that when you go in the buildings, the blemishes and conditions they have. Now, we can't do it on Saturday. We're going to do it on Sunday. That's a condition. That's a spot. That's in their mind. That's in their heart. That's what they intend to do, and that's what they do because they're evil doers. That's in the dark. That building they go in is darkness. That's the veil that's covering them in darkness and spiritual ignorance. See their conditions? Yehovah, I'll serve you on the condition that I get to do what I want to do. That's wickedness. That's evil. That's in the dark. That's in their hearts. That's on their mind. You can't see it, but you should see it because it's there. That you can see by their actions. They're evil doers. What are they doing? Evil. Against the laws, statutes, and commandments of Yehovah, and against his people. So why go dibble and dabble in the dark? Why are you playing in the dark? 1 Corinthians 15:44a. It is sown a natural body. That's the flesh. That's in the dark. 1 Corinthians 15:43 is sown in dishonor. That's in the flesh. That's in the dark. Let's see what this dishonor is. Before I move on, let's see what this dishonor. Because we've seen all those things in the dark. None of those are honorable that they do. All of that, all them works in that flesh. Dishonor, shame, blasphemy, blaspheme, slander, defile, and disgrace. So what you going around this for? Disrespect, degradation. So then what are you going there for? And then when something happens to you, we acting like we shocked. Oh my God, why did this happen? What? Because you out there in the dark. Flesh is contrary to Yehovah. It is enmity. This is the way of darkness. 1 Corinthians 15:47a. The first man is of the earth, earthy. That's the flesh. That's what we're supposed to be getting rid of. With the what? The pure word, with the light that he's given us, that he shined on us. We're supposed to be walking in that. So why are we going back in the dark dealing with the first man? Why are we dealing with the flesh? We still trying to enjoy something in the flesh? It's impossible. Life for life. Or are you a covenant breaker as well? Something you need to think about within yourself. 1 Corinthians 15:49a. And we have borne the image of the earthy. So you see the flesh on you. So now when you do an act of sin and iniquity, you see it. Because it's on you. You're the one doing it. Look in the mirror. Or just because you turn the lights off and do it don't mean that the Most High is not seeing you. That makes no sense. No man might see you, but the Most High see you. Romans 7:18a. For I know that in me, that is in my flesh, dwelleth no good thing. Can someone tell me? Let's see some more things that's in the dark. Let's pivot real quick. Everyone know where I'm going, but I want to see if any of this is this in the dark or is this in the light? I don't, because it says the flesh, in my flesh. Let's see what's in the flesh. Let's see what the people in the dark and who play in the darkness are dealing with. Let's see what their works are, their labor is. See if we get a little bigger. There we go. Now the works of the flesh, let's stop right there, are manifest. Stop right there. Romans 7:18a. For I know that in me, that is in my flesh, dwelleth no good thing. So now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness, adultery, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulations, wrath, strife, seditions, heresies, envying, murderers, drunkenness, reviling, and such like. These are in the dark. These are things that's done in the dark. That's the flesh. Ain't no good thing in these. Ain't no good thing in these, right? Murders. We've seen the murders. We've seen the murders with Cain. We've seen that envying with Cain, right? Seen that hatred? We've seen that because it all goes hand in hand. If you was in the baptism, Deacon Khalil did it perfectly. The web of deception. All this ties together. Right? He did all that. Adultery. Cain did all this, right? Because he wasn't following the Most High. He's married to us, so he didn't do that. So he's committed adultery, fornication, messing with another spirit. He did all this. Wrath, strife. We've seen it, and such like, right? Such like, and other things too, just like this, right? Like when he said, "Cain, where's your brother?" He said, "Am I my brother's keeper? I know not." That's such like. Now you a little liar. You're a murderer and you're a liar. To fix your face to the Most High, and I don't know, like he don't know. Really? Okay. Got a special place for those. Colossians 3:5b to F. What else is in the flesh? What else is in the dark? Fornication, uncleanness, inordinate affections, evil concupiscence, covetousness, which is idolatry. We've seen that here. Where that? Idolatry, right here. Over there worshiping anything. Some people worshiping a man, some people worshiping flesh, sex, money, drugs, violence, murder, attention, food. When you put anything above the Most High, that's what you're doing. Ezekiel 8, 9, and 10. And he said unto me, go in and behold the wicked abominations that they do here. So there's more. And there's more stuff that he told us about before that we still doing. So I went in and saw, and behold, every form of creeping things and abominable beasts and all the idols of the house of Israel portrayed upon the wall around about. So we know that there's creeping things in the dark. There's abominable beasts who's in the dark. There's idols in the dark. So when someone steps out the light and goes in the dark, that means they're seeking these things, because there's no other possible explanation for the reason you would be going after receiving the truth to go back into the darkness. First Kings 18:20. So Ahab sent unto all the children of Israel and gathered the prophets together unto Mount Carmel. So let's see what Ahab means. Let's see Ahab. He about to bring some prophets out. I guess they about to teach the people how to stay out the dark, right? Ahab means the father is my brother, or the other spirit. So let's see. Depending on who these prophets are, we should know that if he's the other spirit or not. First Kings 18:26. And they took the bullock which was given them, and they dressed it and called on the way of Baal from morning even until noon, saying, O Baal, hear us. But there was no voice, nor any that answered, and they leaped upon the altar which was made. So he bringing these prophets that's serving idols. Who? That other spirit? Who? Ahab. So they're going to do things according to the flesh and try to convince you this is acceptable to offer to an idol they created, because they do not serve Yehovah. His ways are too hard for them. That's why they have these blemishes and these conditions and these spots. So they keep their traditions alive and do contrary. So we're going to keep our traditions alive, and we're going to piece and bits the book. So we're going to say, no, you know what? We don't deal with the front of the book. We're going to deal with the back of the book. And then when we go to the back of the book, we're going to deal with 3 or 4 pages, because I want to continue to do my abominations in this building and say that he dwells here, but he doesn't. So these are the conditions and spots. And then they have a whole congregation and a whole movement around the whole world, where everyone has their own condition on how they're going to serve Yehovah. It's crazy. But call themselves the same name. Now, if anybody was in a group before, any type of group, if you're not doing what the group is under the group name, we following the same set of rules and regulations. How you come in a group, call yourself the group, and you doing something different? That's a Christian. That's madness. That's confusion. That's what they do. That's why they call that. Stupid people. Because it doesn't even make sense to what they do. But I guess all of them, all 45,000 denominations have the right God. I guess they all do. All right, I already did that. 1 Kings 18, 28, 29. And they cried aloud and cut themselves after their manner with knives and lancets till the blood lifestyle gushed out upon them. And it came to pass when midday was past, they prophesied until the time of the offering of the evening sacrifice that there was neither voice nor any to answer nor any that regarded. Why? Because these foolish people are serving an idol. They can't speak. It's not even real. My kids gave me a cause they in the church, right? They in the church building. Long story, but so they went there and it was in service. So a guy, I guess he was having chest pains. He passed out. He was passing out. He was having a heart attack. So instead of them calling 911 like regular people, these Christians went and started doing their, their stuff. And they did all that and did this until they finally called 911 because the guy was actually dying. These people, they do things not knowing what they do, but they believe in it so hard. But when they called, there was neither a voice or answer or none regarded because they're not serving the true God. He doesn't dwell in buildings made with hands. So they could have killed that man. But the worst part of the story is after he goes to the hospital and comes back, he's angry at them, but he goes straight back into the building. That's the worst part. Not the fact that he could almost killed you, but you still go back in there because you are just in your tradition. You didn't just see there by that example that maybe I should get out of here. You went right back. So that's basically what they're doing. Idol worshiping. And the idol is not even real. Saying they have the power, but they don't have anything. Wisdom of Solomon 17, 1b, 2b to e. Therefore, unnurtured souls have ears. They being shut up in their houses, the prisoners of darkness, and fettered with bonds of a long night, lay there exiled from the eternal providence. So in the dark, there's also going to be unnurtured souls. They're going to believe that they're doing something, but they're not taking no instructions. They're going to stay inside their prison house. It's comfortable to them. I know I almost died, but you know what? I've been doing this. My parents been doing this for generation and generation. I'm just going to go there. I don't really have to do much here. I could play the music, play the screen, and then I can just go home and believe I have salvation. Because they really don't want to follow any laws, statutes, and commandments and do what's really required of them to get into the kingdom. They want to worship the way they want to worship, as Cain did. And then when they find out they're not going to the kingdom, then they want to murder. Because of that bitterness that's inside them. But all that is in the dark. And it says, they being shut up in their houses, verse 2, B to E, the prisoners of darkness. Let's put darkness back up here. It's crazy because no one forced him to go back there. He just went back on his own accord. Prisoners of darkness, spiritual ignorance, spiritual blindness, no understanding, and sinfulness. Because you get to still sin and then think that Jesus is going to die for that, or whatever they say. They're convinced in that. They don't want to feel no pain. Those are tender people, tender men and tender women. I don't want to go through no uncomfortability. I don't want to go through no trials and tribulations. I'm blessed and highly favored. I want to go, and I'm going to do all that. I want to play the scene on. I want to entertain, and then I want to go home. Live in peace. Collect the tithes. All that's in the dark. Why are you playing it in the dark? There's no reason. There's nothing there for you. Wisdom of Solomon 17:3, B to D. They were scattered under a dark veil of forgetfulness, being horribly astonished, confused, and troubled with strange aberrations. Everybody seen a vision and this and that, and oh, God told me, and this is. We all heard it. God told me this, God told me that, God told me this. He told me we need to change our book into the NIV, to the ESV. It's easier for you to understand. It's this, that. All these lies, they're confused. They're confounded. They forget the lies they say 5 seconds earlier. That's in the dark. You want to go to kingdom or you want to die? Pick one. But you can't be in both. Wisdom of Solomon 14:12. For the devising of idols was the beginning of spiritual fornication, and the inventions of them the corruption of life. So these devices of idols, this is in the dark. Spiritual fornication, that's done in the dark. In those buildings, made with hands. And the corruption of life. Exodus 8:3. And the river shall bring forth frogs abundantly, which shall go up and come into thy house, and into thy bedchamber, and upon thy bed, and into the house of thy servants, and upon thy people, and into thy ovens, and into thy kneading trough. So this is in the dark. Let's see what these frogs are. It's going to be all over you. All over those who want to play in the dark. They like frogs. Blindness, confusion, plagues. This is going to be all over you and everybody you with in that dark that you want to go back into. What are you benefiting out of it? What is there for you? It tells you. Blindness, confusion, plagues. Murder, bitterness, envy, wrath, anger, seditions, covetousness, lasciviousness, adultery, fornication, disobedience, truth breakers, covenant breakers. All this is in the dark. What are you doing? So what are you going there for? Who sent you there? Acts 10:12, wherein were all manner of four-footed beasts of the earth, and wild beasts, and creeping things, and fowls of the air. People will be doing their own desires and be in disorder. People will be lurking and watching you, and people you think are friends are inwardly plotting on you to steal what you got and to kill you and take your life. A perfect example is that Elder T did a video before a while back on this girl who was doing well financially, and her so-called friends moved with envy, killed her, and hated her because they wanted to be in her shoes. After she paid for all their expenses, took them on trips, bought them gifts, tried to be friends with them, as a regular person would. And took them with her because she intended to be companions with them, and they repaid her with killing her. You understand what's in the dark? She's doing good, even though it's according to the world. She's doing what she got to do, and she thinks these people are their friends. She wants to go and live that life and go in the dark and think, I can dibble and dabble with this and with them. You can't mix the light with the dark, because you thought it was cool, and then you find out, even though it's too late, that is, they hated you. And they showed it. It's a sad thing. When someone, is being nice to you and generous and helping you out, you think you would love that person. But Israel, we don't love that. We envy you for that. We envy. Bitter. We want to be that person. Instead of finding out, being friends genuinely with the person and find out, how you do this? Maybe I should start doing what you're doing so I could be just like you. Nah, we don't want to put no work in. That's that greed, that lust. We want to do works of the flesh. I want to kill her. Yo, we're going to plot this to kill her. Not plot to see how we can help her get the information from her and help her build bigger and better. Nah, that's too smart. That sounds like the right thing to do. Israel, we not doing that. I got a better idea. We're going to look to the left. We're going to look to the right. And then we're going to kill her. and then take the $4. Makes no sense. What are we doing here? Some people think this is a game. This is not a game. This is for your soul. And if we don't raise our children to think and the way that Yehovah wants us to think and move the way Yehovah wants us to move, and they moving in the flesh, they're going to die. Sorry, they're going to die. This is not a thing where we want them to, they need to be upright kids and be examples when they're growing up for the next generation. They can't be mingling with the dark, especially if they're not strong enough. Adults is not even strong enough, so what do you think these kids is doing? Come on, we got to get it together. It's crazy out here. And no one's playing with us, and we're not playing with nobody, as you can see. Whoever's doing false doctrine against Jehovah, we going after them immediately. We can't afford for our kids to be dying. Not us, Israel. It's supposed to be Hebrews moving over, crossing over to the next side, right? Passing over. So we have no time to play with nobody. We're nice to everybody, but when it's an adversary, we have to kill him, or her, or anyone. Leviticus 11:29-30. These also shall be unclean unto you among the creeping things that creep upon the earth. The weasel, that's in the dark, the mouse, the tortoise after his kind, and the ferret, and the chameleon, and the lizard, and the snail, and the mole. So these are in the dark. So let me give a definition of unclean. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about this ferret that I found out. Why ferret was even used. It's a little son. Unclean, fleshly, of the world, of the flesh, carnal, defiled, polluted. So this can't go, you can't learn from this. It's going to make you defiled, polluted, carnal, profane, diseased. So we can't take none of that in, right? Sleep. Let's see what sleep. It's the reason why I want you to see sleep. Sleep is slumber, rest, dream, lie down, ignorance. Right? We're going to go with ignorance. Slumber. That's the one we want for there. Then we're going to get the day. I'm going to leave day up. But it's going to have something to do with the ferret. Day, understanding, enlightenment, illumination, time of divine favor and blessings, time of revelation, practice, discipline, light, and time. So a ferret are small, domesticated carnivores, known for their playful, curious, and affectionate nature. They have a long, slender body, short legs, and a long tail, often with distinctive muscular shape. Ferrets are crepuscular, meaning they are most active at dawn and dusk, and spend a significant portion of their day sleeping. They are intelligent and can be trained, but also require a lot of attention and stimulation to prevent boredom. So I highlighted ferrets, carnivores, curious, most active at dawn, spend a significant portion of their day sleeping, and require a lot of attention and stimulation to prevent boredom. So a ferret, right? Curious. You know, curiosity killed the cat. There's nothing for us to be curious about. The Most High gave us straight laws, statutes, and commandments. You follow it or you die. Right? That's the curious. That kills that curious. But curiosity is in the dark. People be curious. Men be curious about sleeping with other men. Women be curious about sleeping with other women. A lot of curiosity is there that should not be there in the dark. Okay? They spend a significant portion of their day sleeping. So they sleep, they're in ignorance when it's time to get understanding, revelation, and practice, and discipline, and light. Because they're in the dark. So when it's time to get light, get that understanding, they sleep. Why? They're in ignorance. They're in the dark. But they require a lot of attention and stimulation to prevent boredom. So this reminds me of camps. They like a lot of attention. That's why they wear the uniforms. So when you put the bat signal out, they're already out there. But it's just, they need to be seen. They have to be seen. That's the only reason I can say that they wear those costumes. I want you to see me. I want you to know I am here. I'm in every corner. I'm in every state. And when it's time to get understanding and favor and blessings and revelations, I'm ignorant to them. That's why I tell you about UFOs, and I have movies with black superheroes, black Gokus coming down and with blood on them because somebody shot them and fighting a war. And those are videos that's up. They should have never showed that. But they want a lot of attention. And they need a lot of stimulation to prevent boredom. So they need a lot of fleshly things to do. They need to talk about the news, talk about the other countries, talk about the ground, talk about the door. Everything but the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High that they're not following. About the pure doctrine that they're supposed to be following. About how they're supposed to be Jehovah's servant, out of sight, out of mind, and when he sends you somewhere, you just go and you come back and you do what you got to do, because he gets the glory. But they require a lot of attention and stimulation to prevent boredom, because to them, following the Most High is boring. Instead, they want the people to follow them in this false Wakanda-like community with Deacon Khalil and James will finish them all, but that's the ferret. That's among us. That's in the dark. That's in those buildings. That's in those camps. They require lots of attention. They bored at following the law, statutes, and commandments. They bored being regular. I have not been seen all my life. I want to be seen. Put on the Power Ranger costume. Everyone, put it on. Yes, power. That's right. What's Genesis 1 and 2 mean? Sleep. It means the UFO is coming in the dark, in the water. It's foolishness. It is not a game. This is the crazy part. It's not a game, but they think it's a game, and it's not a game at all. That's blasphemy. That's real. People take that real, his servants take that real seriously. Sheesh. Leviticus 11:31. These are unclean to you among all that creep. So there's a lot of creeps in the dark as well. Whosoever doeth touch them, whoever considers doing what they doing or consider whatever they saying, when they be dead, they're dead. They're doing dead things. Shall be unclean until the even. Don't consider what they doing. Don't even, if it's not lined up with the precepts of Yehovah, get away from them. Stay out the dark. A lot of ferrets walking around in Power Ranger uniforms. Stay away from them. They're in the dark. They're covered in darkness. Revelation 16:13 and 14a. And I saw 3 unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon, and out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophets. For they are the spirits of devils. So you got the dragon. We already know we got the beast and the false prophets, and these spirits of devils. These is in the dark. Just because the light's out does not mean you cannot be in the darkness. When you in the buildings made with hands, you are covered in darkness and a lack of understanding and mingling with evil spirits talking blasphemies against Yehovah, who you say you serve. Separate yourself from them. So let's see some of these creeps that are in the dark. Susanna 1 and 2, A to C. There dwelt a man in Babylon called Joachim, and he took a wife whose name was Susanna, the daughter of Celsius. So we know this story, some of us, those who are new. We're going to see 2 creeps. Susanna 1 and 5. The same year were appointed 2 of the ancients of the people to be teachers, such as the Creator spake of, that wickedness came from Babylon, from ancient teachers who seemed to govern the people. So these are wicked men in confusion, These are in the dark. They're supposed to be doing one job, but they not doing the job that the Spirit tells them to do. They doing after the fleshly work, speaking garbage. So it does not matter what status these people have. If you're moving in the flesh, Satan will get you, and you will be an adversary to Yehovah. Period. So I'm not going to say the whole story, but I'm going to jump, and we can get it. Susanna 1, 8 and 9. And the two elders saw her going in every day and walking, so that their lust was inflamed toward her, and they perverted their own mind and turned away their understanding, that they might not look unto heaven nor remember just doctrines and teachings. So they didn't remember nothing that the Most High said. They decided to cast the Spirit aside, and they're going to go after the lust of their own flesh and do what they want to do according to their own self-will. Lust. So now they supposed to be teaching the people, but instead they hiding somewhere secretly lurking, looking at a naked woman, looking at other flesh. These men lurking in secret places to fulfill their lust of the flesh instead of doing the duty Yehovah set for them. So they are opposing and being disobedient to the Spirit of peace to do the works of the flesh. And this could get anybody, but we're going to talk about these. But if you dwell too much on the flesh, it's a problem, because then you're going to start forsaking. Now all your thoughts is not going to be on Yehovah. Then you're going to start worrying about that flesh, and then it's going to get in your mind, and before you know it, you start moving. No. When those evil thoughts come, you rebuke those, you say your prayer, and you always remember the Spirit. You go right back into the scriptures of the Spirit and get precept upon precept. Because then you'll be like these people right here, inflamed towards some flesh that you're supposed to be giving the word and doing good by. Instead, now you watching her while she's taking a bath and she's naked. And the thing is that they washing her every day. You know, she's going about her business, thinking that she's in safety, doing what she got to do. You know, she's following Lord's statutes and commandments. She's doing it. She's thinking that her brothers is around her, that everything is good. And then what? They got some 4 eyes on her. She don't even know it. They ready to kill, steal, and destroy. Unmercifully. Because they killers. Let's keep moving. Stay out that dark. This is in the dark. Look, they doing it. Susanna 1, 10 and 11. And howbeit, they both were wounded with her love. So it's two of them. They wounded with her love, yet doeth not one show another his grief. For they were ashamed to declare their lust that they desired to have to do with her. So now they thinking these evil imaginations in their head, instead of keeping the Most High on their mind, they worrying about somebody else's wife. Let me go back up here. This is crazy. Exodus 20:17. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. Exodus 27. Thou shalt not take away the Spirit of God thy God in vain, for the Spirit of God will not hold him guiltless that taketh his way in vain. Exodus 20:14. Thou shalt not commit adultery. So when you focusing in that, you chilling in that dark and you focusing on the flesh, they forgot all those things right there. They supposed to be teachers. It say right here. And he took a wife whose name was Susanna. So she's somebody's wife. That's somebody's wife. So that's adultery right there. But they don't care at that moment. Why? Because they're engulfed in their self-will and their own flesh. They in their own feelings. They're far gone in their lust. They're thinking about this piece of flesh and what they wish to do with it to satisfy themselves. At this point, it's the point of no return. You already watching, you doing all it. Susanna 1:12. Yet they watch diligently from day to day to see her. So now they're coming around all the time just to see her. not to do the Most High's work, to see her. Why do you want to see her so bad? And it said they watched diligently. Let's see what this. I know he told us to keep that precept diligently, but they said they watching this lady, somebody's wife, diligently. Hold on. Let's see how they really watching her. Oh, put DIG. Faithfully, carefully, assiduously examine. It's like a stakeout to fulfill their desire. Inside their heart, they got this lust and greed towards her. They want to do something fleshly to her. And she's none the wiser because they're keeping it inside their habitation, that cruelty that they want to do with her. I guess she was more beautiful than the statutes, laws, and commandments of the Most High to them at that moment, huh? Susanna 1:13-14. And the one said to the other, let us now go home, for it is dinner time. So when they were going out, they parted the one from the other, and turning back again, they came to the same place. Full thought. And after that, they had asked one another the cause. They acknowledged their lust. Then appointed they a time both together when they might find her alone. So when they find her alone, what you think they gonna do, y'all? They in the dark. They gonna look to the left. They gonna look to the right, and they want to have their way. So it's two of them. It's two teachers there. So instead of one saying, "Yeah, you know what? This ain't even right, man. This is we bugging out. Let's go repent before we get into too deep. Let's not. Hey, I'm out of here." Nah, that lust is so bad that it's two of them now. They want to go and do something with somebody. Disgusting. That's in the dark, though. So why are we going in the dark? Why we still want to go and play in the dark? Was there something? Hold on. Let me see something. Deuteronomy 22:25. But if a man find a betrothed damsel in the field, and the man force her and lie with her, then the man only that lay with her shall die. They're not even thinking about none of this. They're only worrying about their flesh and their desire and that lust. Here we go. Hold on. Here we go. Here we go. All that's going to come into play. Remember, the web. Y'all know what I'm talking about. We was in the dark. Susanna 1:15-16. And it fell out, as they watched a fit time, she went in as before with two maids only, and she was desirous to wash herself in the garden, for it was hot. And there was nobody there, only the two elders that had hid themselves and watched her. So there was, who knows how much time passed for the stakeout they doing. Now they got her. They gonna look left, to the right, and then what they gonna do? Let's see. Susanna 1:17-18. Then she said to her maids, bring me oil and washing bowls, and shut the garden doors, that I may wash myself. And they did as she bade them, and shut the garden doors, and went out themselves at privy doors to fetch the things that she had commanded them. But they saw not the elders, because they were hid. So they found a nice spot for the stakeout. They looked to the left. They looked to the right. Susanna 1:19-20. Now when the maids were gone forth, the two elders rose up and ran unto her, saying, remember, the garden doors are shut, that no man can see us. We are in love with thee. Therefore consent unto us and lie with us. Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness, adultery, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulation, wrath, strife, seditions, heresies, envying, murders, drunkenness, reviling, and such like. This is in the dark. You seen it. They staking out, showing hatred towards the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. Murdering his laws and statutes, his commandments, envying after somebody else's wife. Want to commit adultery, fornicating, that's unclean. They drunk off their own lust of their flesh. It's the web. Susanna 121, if thou wilt not, we will bear false witness against thee that a young man was with thee, and therefore thou didst send away thy maids from thee. Susanna 141, then the assembly believed them as those that were the elders and teachers of the people, so they condemned her to death. Murder, reviling. We see it here. You can't escape it once you in the flesh. You can't escape the web. You in it. That's all in the dark. Ezekiel 8:12. Then said he unto me, Son of man, hast thou seen what the ancients of the house of Israel do in the dark? We seen it, these little creeps. Every man in the chambers of his imagery, for they say the Spirit of God seeth of not. The Spirit of God has forsaken the earth. He never sent no one to go do that. They did that off their own self-will. They're supposed to be teachers. But they want all the attention. They want to be seen. They bored with that. They want to satisfy that flesh. They find more pleasure in breaking the covenant, breaking the statutes. That's exciting to them. They say the Spirit of God sees us not. The Spirit of God has forsaken the earth. It says, we see here the ancients are liars and blaspheming the word of Yehovah. Let God be true and every man a liar. He forsake the earth. How? Exodus 6-8. Chapter 6, verse 3-8. And I appeared unto Abraham, unto Isaac, and unto Jacob by the way of God Almighty, but my way, Yehovah, was I not known to them. And I have also established my covenant with them, to give them the land of Canaan, the land of their pilgrimage, wherein they were strangers. And I have also heard the groaning of the children of Israel, whom the Egyptians keep in bondage, and I have remembered my covenant. Wherefore, saying to the children of Israel, I am the Spirit of God, and I will bring you out from under the burdens of the Egyptians. And I will rid you out of their bondage, and I will redeem you with a stretched out arm and with great doctrines and teaching. And I will take you to me for a people, and I will be to you a guide, and ye shall know that I am the Spirit of God, your guide, which bringeth you out from under the burdens of the Egyptians. And I will bring you into the land concerning that which I did swear to give to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, and I will give it you for a heritage. I am the Spirit of God. That's what Yehovah just said. What are they talking about? What they talking about over there? Oh, they're in that darkness. They're in the dark. They liars. Psalms 14:1-3. The fool hath said in his heart, there is no God. They are corrupt. They have done abominable works, as we seen. There is none that doeth good. The Spirit of God looked down from heaven upon the children of men to see if there were any that did understand and seek God. They are all gone aside. They are all together become filthy. There is none that doeth good, no, not one. Give me 1 second. Let me check Psalms 14:2. Make sure. Psalms. But we see it here. How you say that? How you fix your mouth to say something like that? It makes no sense. It makes no sense. Okay, yeah, so that's the Spirit of God looked down from heaven upon the children. Okay, so I was right. Okay. So they're fools. They're in darkness, ignorance, spiritual ignorance. Genesis 6:5, and God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. So in the dark we see there's wickedness, imagination, fleshly thoughts, evil minds, and evil in their hearts. This is the spirit in those people that dwell and play in the dark. So when you go back thinking you something special, now that you got a little knowledge, and you blessed and highly favored, that's when you get devoured, and your state can be worse than the last. Or you can die in your sin. Or you could be without the Spirit and giving you a delusion and become a wanderer. Let's not dibble and dabble inside this dark. Let's walk in the light from now on and endure this till the end. This is not a boring walk. If you think it's boring, then you need to look inside yourself and see if this is for you. This is exciting. Everlasting life, that's exciting to me. It's a struggle to get in there, but hey, it's worth it. Worth it to me. Numbers 23:19. God is not a man that he should lie, neither the son of man that he should repent. Have he said, and shall he not do it? Or have he spoken, and shall he not make it good? So if we do what we got to do, he's going to do what he has to do. If you don't believe that, then to you, God's a liar, but I believe it. So I'm going to endure to the end. And I'm going to walk in the light. No more trying to dibble and dabble inside that dark. I know it's there already. We was dark. We was one of those agents of the darkness. Murderers, killers, unmerciful, greed, lustful, covenant breakers, truth breakers. There's no honor among thieves. We all heard that saying. Ezekiel 8:13-14. No, Ezekiel 8:13. He said also unto me, turn thee yet again, and thou shalt see greater abomination that they do. So there's more hateful acts that we do in the dark. These contrary spirits serving lies and vain imaginations, performing most hated acts towards Yehovah. No faith in Yehovah leads to spiritual separation from Yehovah, and you become unfruitful, engulfed in carnality and folly, and can produce abominable works. Revelation 3:15-16. I know thy works, that thou art neither cold nor hot. I would thou were cold or hot. So then, because thou art lukewarm and neither cold nor hot, I will spew thee out of my mouth. In the dark, people are not sure and decisive on what and who they will serve, the flesh or the spirit. Those are the people who want to go play in the dark. That means you indecisive. You're not loving the Lord with all your heart and all your soul and all your might, because you in between, you on the fence. But he says here, you got to pick a side. If you in the middle, he's going to spew you out. They do not know what their next move is. They move not according to the spirit of Yehovah, but the spirit of confusion from the world. In this war, you have to choose a side. If not, get cast out. So don't be hateful towards Yehovah and act like you're not going to pick a side. You're not going to serve him, but you're going to serve both sides? That's disgusting. James 1:8. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. In the dark we know everything, and it is moving according to their own ways, spirits and desires, according to the foolishness of the world. His way is towards destruction. So if you're going towards the flesh, that means you want to die. If you're walking in the spirit, that means you want to live. It's evil to stay in the middle. No, pick one. That makes him even more heated, because you in the middle to my you don't know if you're gonna choose good or evil. That's what happens in the dark. 1 Kings 18:21 C to G. How long halt ye between two opinions? If the Spirit of God be your guide, follow him. But if Baal, then follow him. And the people answered him not a word. Why? Because they double-minded. And they unstable in all their ways. You got to choose a side. You're not playing this game. Ezekiel 8:17. Then he said unto me, Hast thou seen this, O son of man? Is it a light thing to the house of Judah that they commit the abominations which they commit here? For they have filled the land with violence, and have returned to provoke me to anger. And lo, they put the branch to their nose. So just as we've seen in these, spirits are destroying the people, separating them from Yehovah, binding them to idols and false ideologies. Those playing in the darkness is playing with death. Those who are undecided are playing with death. Those who think they have time to dibble and dabble are playing with death. Leviticus 6:2. If a soul sin and commit a trespass against the Spirit of God and lie unto his neighbor, and that which was delivered him to keep, or in fellowship, or in a thing taken away by violence, or have deceived his neighbor. Leviticus 6:3, 4a and c. Or have found that which was lost and lieth concerning it, and swear falsely, and any of all these that a man doeth sinning therein, then it shall be because he hath sinned and is guilty. So there's offenders in the dark, acts of sin, wrongdoings, offensive against Yehovah in the dark. So why are we going out playing in the dark as if we do not know what is in the dark? So like I said, there's offenders, dark acts, wrongdoings. That's what's in the dark. Covenant breakers. Why? Because we're not listening to Yehovah. We just seen the examples of that. They have nothing to do with the Spirit. They found their own self-will and they found their own flesh. Proverbs 20:20. Whoso curseth his father or his mother, his lamp shall be put out in obscure darkness. So when we forget light, wisdom, and truth of Yehovah and go play in the dark, he will put us in that darkness we desire. He'll give it to you. Here, go ahead. But his word is going to come forth. It's not going to change. He's going to make it good. Isaiah 5:20. Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil. For thought that put darkness for light and light for darkness. That put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. And the dark confusion is rampant. Everything is flipped. It's the upside down world. God said pork is bad. No, pork is good. God said light to help you see. They said no, the darkness to help. Everything he said is going to be a reverse. Why? Because they serve flesh. They don't serve Yehovah. That's in the dark. So if you over there and you get caught over there with them doing what they doing, you'll be punished according as what they're doing. There's no need to keep covenant or keep company even with them. So stop playing over there with them, because they're not playing with you. They will kill you. For the last scripture, 1 John 1:6. If we say that we fellowship, if we say that we have fellowship with him, who? Yehovah, and walk in darkness, we lie and do not the truth. So don't go in there playing with the dark. Walking in darkness saying I love him. You're not doing the truth. The truth is what? The law, statutes, and commandments is found in every word that proceedeth out of his mouth. So I hope someone was edified in his teaching, and whoever, if somebody is going out there dibbling, dabbling, and putting one foot in, one foot out, listen, you're going to lose your leg. Take that foot out, walk in righteousness, walk in the truth. So for the next time, I say to each and every one, shalom.